Hi and welcome along to the All Guns Blazing podcast with my man Mr. DT in the place. First of all, why are you just before we come on here, this man's moaning about how there's never any water here. You like to moan, don't you?
You know what I mean? Listen, you're doing a podcast. We're sitting here for a good long time. I'm having to listen to you chat a load of crap for 45 minutes or so. And the least you can do is supply me with a nice glass of water or something.
All right,
not asking for a lot.
Behind the camera there, next week, water, cup of tea, champagne for our esteemed guest there.
There you go, what I mean? You know what I mean? You got a kettle and that over there as well.
Put you back in yourself.
Yeah,
back in myself.
You take you back to the cell. The way we used to have it before. You know what I mean? You don't like the surroundings, man. The little thing going on there. All Guns Blazing logo. The logo looks alright, you know?
Yeah.
Bling.
You look like my probation officer now.
Did you see that one we kept saying?
Yeah.
I look like your probation officer.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, the hate continues, man. But it's all good. It's all good. Now, listen, what we're going to do in this video, obviously, it's an international break. Excitement. You know what? I can't take international break seriously because, you know what? Even the players don't take it seriously.
No, not all.
Look how many of them pull out.
Mostly all Tottenham players. How convenient.
Yeah. And then they'll all be back.
They'll all be fit for the North London derby.
Harry Winks, Harry Kane, they'll all be fit for the North London derby, you know what I mean? But they've all pulled out. So why should I take it seriously? I wanted to talk about Arsenal's season so far and what you've made of it.
Shit. Podcast over. Bye-bye.
I mean, I've got a video also coming out later on this week. We're going to be rating all of Arsenal's players.
Nice plug.
Out of 10. You like that plug, innit?
Yeah.
But it's like a player rating. You know we do the player ratings after the game, which you've took part in some of them sometimes. Other times he just storms off, right? But so it's like rating the players so far this season. But in this podcast, I wanted to have a look at the season so far for Arsenal. I know you've just said what you said as an overview. But in general, what have you made of it?
Poor. Really poor. Even games that we've been winning, I think we've been playing poorly. I think we scraped through some of the games we've been playing poorly. That's not a bad thing in certain respects. But you can't keep getting away with playing poorly game after game after game and expecting to pick results up. Our away form is abysmal. It's possibly the worst in the Premier League, right up there. Probably Crystal Palace is just worse.
It's up there.
It's right up there with one of the worst. Someone
won one game away from home this season.
There you go.
That's it.
One game. That's it.
And that's like appalling for a team of the size and the stature of Arsenal to only win one game away from home this season.
It's just, I don't know, man. I look at it and I look at the defeats, and it's not like every defeat has been against your Man Cities and stuff like that. We got a good draw at Chelsea, but apart from that, we've just been getting beaten away from home. We got absolutely humiliated at Anfield, beaten at Man City, beaten at Stoke. It's just one thing after another.
Let's run through. I'm going to go through some of the games. So the first game of the season was that Friday night game, right? Arsenal 4, Leicester 3. We came from behind that night. We were losing the game. We went into the league. Remember Lacazette on his debut scored.
And we thought, wow, this is it.
Like, wow, here comes a brilliant season.
Yeah! And 2 minutes later, Okazaki scores, and we're
reminded of, you know.
Yeah.
And but we came from behind that night. It was a good game actually because it's an exciting game. We came from behind to win the game.
Do you know what I think I said in my interview that was very Arsenal-like, and even in my vlog and stuff, I said that that it doesn't feel like I've been away through pre-season. The emotions on that day were just like this, up and down. And you know what? That was kind of a taster for what the season's going to bring.
Yeah, because what that game showed was that going forward, we look very good. Scored 4 goals. But defensively, we were so open to the counter attack that night. It was absolutely unbelievable. And Vardy and that, they were just ripping us apart.
Yeah, and you know what the scary thing was is that was before the transfer window was closed. So everybody could see where our weak points were and where we had to kind of strengthen. And I know that Koscielny's had his long-running Achilles problem and everything, but you knew, even just by that game, before that game, you knew that defence was a problem. We've sold Gabriel, who coincidentally is having an amazing season now. Amazing what happens when you start playing under another manager, isn't it? Oh, there's a surprise. Looked amazing under another manager before he came to Arsenal. Looked like Bambi on ice at Arsenal. Leaves Arsenal and looks amazing again. Well, there's a coincidence. And, but we didn't bring anyone else in. You know, and do you remember I sat and had these moans with you in pre-season, and you were saying, why are you moaning and that? And I was saying, why are you playing players that you're not really going to put in at centre-back? You know, remember when he played like Bielik, for example, at centre-back? And I said, why are you doing it? I said, you're never going to put him in a Premier League game. You're never going to throw him in at the deep end this season. So what's the point experimenting him, even in a pre-season? Because
maybe for the Europa League.
But he's not even
been injured, isn't he?
I don't know, but he's not even been on the bench.
I think Bielik's been injured.
But what I'm saying is that, we jump forward to them now, and Arsene Wenger has basically said in an interview the other day that defensive midfield, there's no difference between a defensive midfielder and a centre-back when talking about Coquelin going in at centre-back. We're going to Man City, Robbie. The best team in England right now, and right up there in terms of the way they're playing, possibly with PSG. And we're putting Coquelin at centre-back.
I know, it was crazy.
Seriously? Something's wrong with this club.
Like Troop said the other day, a false CB. Not a false number 9, a false centre-back.
But the fact that our manager thinks that there's no difference between a defensive midfielder and a centre-back just shows exactly what he feels about defending. Doesn't mean anything to him.
That was we just scraped that. Then the week after, we played Stoke away. Traditionally, always a hard place to go. And we lost that game by 1-0. Now, you know what? That game that we lost, right? I thought
we could be unlucky.
We're a bit unlucky. Lacazette's goal, remember, in that game, should have been a goal.
A lot of people.
And I think in that game, unlike we're going to get to probably like say Watford, but the performance not in the first half was pretty poor, but in the second half. We were ripping Stoke apart. They just really, they rode their luck and they managed to...
And we should have had a minimum 2 penalties in that game.
Yeah, I think we were very unlucky in that game. However, following week now, right, Liverpool away from home. Now, that was, like you just said, that was humiliating. I felt humiliated on that day. I felt embarrassed. I felt ashamed. There was the whole thing of Lacazette didn't start. We played
Kolasinac didn't start.
Kolasinac didn't
And
start.
we put Bellerin at left wing back instead of him. 2
new signings didn't start, which we couldn't work out on the day. I remember he was going mad before the game. We played Oxlade-Chamberlain, who then subsequently went on the week after to go in within the next couple of weeks.
No, the next few days.
It was the next few days after that.
Because that was the last game before the transfer window.
So Oxlade-Chamberlain started. We got beat 4-0 by Liverpool. Then he goes and joins them. I mean, I've never seen nothing like this. I mean, that was...
And the thing was with the Ox was that there was already the inkling that he was going.
Yeah.
At that point. It wasn't like it came out of the blue, Liverpool put a bid in and... You know what I mean? And it's... after the way he performed, I'm surprised Liverpool actually did come in and bid for him. Because he was shocking. And you think of the Mane goal, and he just kind of... hung a leg when he went to have a shot. There was no effort, no fight. And
but why was he starting in that game? I mean, that's what we was all saying.
Ask the manager. Ask him. He gets paid £10 million a year. Ask him why he played.
Why do you think on that day he didn't start Lacazette?
Same reason I have no idea why he didn't start him against Man City. Don't realise. Let's spend £50 million on a striker that we clearly need, but rest him in the biggest games. Yeah, let's have a brainwave. I told you ages ago, I think Arsene Wenger's sabotaging everything. I genuinely believe that. Because it's got to a point, sometimes you can sit there and look at managers' decisions and you go, you know what, I know why he did that. I can see why he did that today because of who we're playing and maybe, But a lot of Wenger's decisions now, I'm sitting there and thinking, what is he... Do we need to send him to a home? Because it doesn't seem like the thoughts of a senile person. That's how it feels. I just don't get his decisions anymore.
I was really, I mean, I must admit, that game was like a low for me, man.
I was embarrassed to be an Arsenal fan.
I remember I came out to do interviews after the game, and like, I felt like I did in a couple of games last year where I didn't really want to, I didn't even feel like doing them. I just felt so low, so down. You know, fans were so upset. The sort of toxic vibe was coming back again.
Do you know the
people.
hardest thing for me? Coming out of Anfield, and I walked out of there and I was embarrassed. I put my hood up and I thought, don't let anyone talk to me. Just don't talk to me today. Please don't talk to me. And I don't want to be rude to people or anything like that. And I'm just thinking, I just want to just get my head down. And and I was embarrassed. I felt embarrassed to be an Arsenal fan. And I was expecting some banter from Liverpool fans and stuff like that. And all the Liverpool fans that come over to speak to me felt sorry for me. And that made me worse. Because I don't want you to feel sorry for me. And it's just like, but that's where it's come to a level where rival fans have taken the piss so much that they're now thinking, I feel sorry for some of these guys because they spend so much money. They travel all over the country, week in, week out. And you know what? As a football fan, sometimes it goes past the level of taking the piss anymore, and you're just like, you got to feel sorry for them sometimes, man. And
they're looking at us like, almost like we're one of them small clubs. So it'd be like, you know, you come out and you've just smashed Burnley or something like that, and you see a Burnley fan. You
can't really call Burnley a small club
you can't at the moment,
because they're right on our
they've got
asses.
they've got the same amount of points as us. But you know what I mean, though? You come out and you see a fan of that club and you say, mate, you know what? To be fair, you put a decent effort in, mate, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. But
it's embarrassing. It really is embarrassing. And what was again embarrassing was what followed that, which is, you know, basically that game against Liverpool was on the 27th of August. Of course, the transfer window shut at the end of August. Transfer window shut. We didn't buy anybody, apart from what we'd already had, which was Kolasinac right at the start of the season. We literally that had been done. The Kolasinac deal had been done from January anyway. With an agreement that he was going to join,
and then Lacazette,
and that was it. And then, like you said, fans were crying out for various positions. You had the whole thing with Alexis Sanchez, where he was about to move to Manchester City. We were trying to get Lamar. That fell through. Nothing happened.
Do you know what?
Nothing to spark us into action.
Do you know what? I've noticed a recurring theme with our transfers, and it's not just the fact that it's shit. Every year, for the last few years, 3 years I can think of in a row now, we've got a few transfers or done a deal that's kind of got everyone hyped early. Coincidentally, just as season ticket renewals are coming around, and they want you to put your hand in your pocket again.
And people are very cynical about it, but you start to wonder to yourself, like you said, with that happening over the last three years.
This year, Kolasinac and then
Lacazette.
Right?
Not so much the Kolasinac one, but the Lacazette one.
Lacazette was bought just before the pre-season tour. Oh, what a coincidence when we go to Australia, a place we've not been for however many years. Oh, we do the third kit launch over there. You look at last season, we brought in Granit Xhaka early, and you think, okay, here we go. Nothing. Year before, we brought Petr Cech in early. You think, okay, here we go.
That was the only person we bought.
And that was nothing else. So I'm getting a reoccurring theme here, which is Arsenal were kind of saying, dampen the fires. Last year wasn't good enough. Okay, right, let's dampen the fires. Season ticket renewals come in. Let's get a few players in.
Well, couple.
Yep, make them feel happy, you know, and then it's like, they'll renew.
I don't know what's up with the transfer policy because, you know, as you said, and then...
I can tell you what's up, Robbie. Stan Kroenke, Ivan Gazidis, Arsene Wenger. That's what's up. Don't even get me started.
And then Oxlade-Chamberlain goes. Oxlade-Chamberlain goes to Liverpool, 40 million. All of a sudden, it looks like there's money again, which means that they've done their budget. But then the club
come out and said that we haven't got money.
No, before that they were saying there's no money.
What do they mean there was no money? What do they mean?
I remember you saying to me that you'd heard a little rumour that the Alexis deal, that Wenger had been told that, you can keep Alexis, but if you're keeping Alexis and we're going to still have those massive wages on our wage bill and stuff like that, then you're not going to have no money to buy anybody else.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now, Alexis is about to move to City for £60 million.
And we have funds ready to buy Lamar.
And there's money again. The 40 million from Ox plus that to buy Lamar for a ridiculous amount of money, by the way. I don't think Lamar... I don't understand. How is Lamar worth £90 million or whatever?
What you've got to remember as well.
So your theory that you were saying, I think was right.
Yeah, because what you've got to remember as well, you take into wages into a transfer.
Yeah.
So we had budgeted 300 odd grand a week in wages for Alexis, which was on the table in a contract. However much it was, it's rumoured 260, 300, 350. It's around that kind of figure. So we'd say 300. So you've got to account for that. So Arsenal are pinning their hopes on Alexis signing, which boosts his wages from 150 odd thousand to 300,000. So basically they're saying, keep him. All right, keep him. You're not getting no more money though. The moment Alexis becomes available, you're then getting rid of the potential 300,000 a week wage. All right, you're taking 150 off your wage bill, so you can go, okay, Lamar, we'll give you 150 grand a week because we're just swapping Alexis for Lamar. We've just got 60 million for Alexis, which is what Man City were offering, and we've just taken 40 million for Oxlade-Chamberlain. How much was he on a week? Probably about 70, 50, 80 grand?
No, maybe. Actually more, yeah. Probably
was about that. But yeah. So that's come off the wage bill. And that's not going to no one else. That's come off, right? We've then got 40 million on top of that. Makes 100. Put in, 93 million for Lamar, something like that? They're making a profit. Not only are they saving on 70, 80 odd grand a week in wage from Oxlade-Chamberlain, but they're making £7-8 million from the, the whole deal and that stuff.
It's a shambles. I mean, and I remember it well because I do my transfer daily programs, and I was doing that right throughout the summer.
I miss them. I can't wait for them in January.
Oh God, I don't even know if I'll bother. And we get to the end of August. We don't buy anybody. We sell Oxlade-Chamberlain. Alexis doesn't sign a new contract. He's going to walk away for free at some stage. Ozil hasn't signed a new contract. He could walk away for free. Jack Wilshere. A lot of people are not clocking this. He's not signing a new deal. He could walk away for free. If Jack Wilshere, say we put him in the first team, and he starts playing well, Jack Wilshere could then turn around and say to Arsene Wenger, actually, I'm having a good season now. I want to be in the first team now all the time. Because you know what? We're in a World Cup year. I want to play for England. This could be my last chance to play for England. I want guarantees. He could say this, and he could say this come January. I want guarantees. I'm going to be playing week in, week out. Then Arsene Wenger might turn around and say, well, actually, no, I can't give you that guarantee because I've got Granit Xhaka's playing decent and Ramsey's playing decent. So, you're going to still have to bide your time. And then Jack Wilshere could then turn around and say, well, actually, I want to leave as well. I want to go. And then any team, and there's a lot of teams out there that I think if Wilshere's playing on form and fit, there's teams out there like I can think of United could do with a Wilshere. They could do with someone creative in their midfield. If that's if they don't get Ozil first. Teams like Everton, teams like many a team out there could look at Wilshere and say, you know what? Let's get him in. And Wilshere could walk as well.
I could play devil's advocate here. I'll take over from your role here of playing devil's advocate. But maybe do you not think maybe the reason why Arsenal's not playing him in the first team at the moment is because he ain't signed his contract?
Could be.
Maybe this is why.
Could
because
be. We don't know.
Arsenal's very notorious for this.
We don't know. We heard that Oxlade-Chamberlain afterwards was getting so much game time because it was an effort to try and keep him. Are we playing Alexis in an attempt not to annoy him? Because why did he start in front of Lacazette? Lacazette's a striker. Not only is Lacazette a striker, Lacazette is our top goal scorer this season. I don't care what Alexis done last year. This season, the guy that's been on fire up front is Lacazette. Yeah. And he's the one that's getting dropped. But he's on a long-term deal, so he can be upset.
I can't say anything. Everyone knows I love Alexis, but right now the guy's pissing me off because of the way he's performing. And, the reason why I love the guy is because of his past performances. But right now, he's not performing. And I wouldn't play him right now.
Try not to be negative about Arsenal, but their transfer policy is absolutely atrocious. For anybody on that board, and we'll come to that board thing a little later on as we're going in, right? Anyone on that board to be saying that we're progressing and When you look at things like that, there's been nothing really positive as regarding the behind the
There
scenes
is no
stuff at the club
progression whatsoever in this club. It's some of the biggest legends of our club have come out this last week, and they're questioning what is going on at this club. Lee Dixon has said that it's unrepairable under Arsene Wenger. It becomes a point where it's so stale. Players are not listening. People are not taking on board what he wants. And it's so evident. I've got no doubt that we've got some seriously quality players there.
We have.
But he's not getting out of them what he could be getting out of them. And like we said earlier on, the Gabriel situation, he looked amazing before he come to Arsenal, looked shit at Arsenal at times, looks amazing now he's left. When Mustafi joined from Valencia, he looked amazing at the start because he was going off the back of all of his coaching at Valencia. All of a sudden, he's turned into a liability and we're thinking, what a waste of money. How many players does this happen to? Granit Xhaka come to the club, looks like this player that we think, right, and I've said, all jokes aside, right, when I found one of the videos the other day where I actually said that I think he could be our future captain when he first come to this club, right, because he had that makeup about him. Yeah, and one of the things we joke about this, but I'm telling you this is true. You remember when Xhaka scored at Hull and then at Nottingham Forest, and we all joked he's going to get a fine for shooting, not allowed. You noticed he don't shoot now.
He scored a goal the other day. He had a shot the other day against Everton that led to.
It hit the bar. But it was already 4-1. Right, and in comparison, no. He had a shot in the second half and it hit the bar.
No, he had a shot in the first half that was saved, and that led to Managerial running.
That was a shot right outside the box. I'm going to bat him having his long range pops. How many times do we play the ball across the box and the fans are shouting, "Shoot, shoot! It's shoot the fucking ball, man!" And they go, "Pass, pass." Wait there. We go from right to left again, and then left, and you're screaming, "Shoot the fucking ball!" We joke about it and say, they get fined or done. Arsene Wenger takes that out of them. They're not allowed to shoot unless there's a necessity. Because you look at Granit Xhaka's game when he was playing in Germany, he was having pop shots all the time. 30, 40 yards out. Ping, ping, ping. And he was scoring goals. He doesn't do it anymore. Literally doesn't do it. How many times has Xhaka been 30 yards out and we're screaming, "Shoot"? It opens up in front of him and we're shouting, "Shoot." And he lays it off out wide. Because it's been drilled into him. Make the pass, make the pass. It's no coincidence, Robbie, that every time you see us play, it's pass, 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 pass. Even when we're one-on-one with the keeper, they look to pass. And I'm right because you can't answer it. You can't. It's true. Look at Mohamed El Neni.
We don't shoot.
He's another. Love to shoot from distance. How many times did you used to see him for Basel put them top corners?
Scored that goal for us against Barcelona. Remember, that was a brilliant shot.
Brilliant shot. Yeah. But you notice now when he plays, he don't shoot. Probably because he's in defence actually, but he doesn't shoot. It's taken out of these players. I genuinely believe that there's players in our team that could flourish and show their full potential under a different manager. Completely. I'll put it like this, Robbie. If Pep Guardiola was Arsenal manager and Arsene Wenger was Man City's manager, right now, I guarantee that Arsenal would be ahead of Man City.
Okay, that's interesting. Let me move on with the games.
We'll have to put that one out as a poll.
Yeah, actually, we'll put that out as a poll. That's interesting. Because
we had this argument over
put that as
what was the Leicester manager? Ranieri.
Yeah.
When they won the league. If Wenger was manager of Leicester, would they have won the league? No, because he was manager of Arsenal at that time, and let's be honest, we had better players than Leicester. But we didn't win the league.
It's about, it's not just about you can have great players, but you've got to play as a team.
Yeah, and you've got to have the right manager behind you.
You've got to have the right balance. Everyone's got to know what they're doing. Moving on with the results. So we beat Bournemouth at home. One area where we have been strong this year has been at home. We're unbeaten at home at the moment. We beat Bournemouth at home by 3 goals to 0. 3 goals to 0. We beat Cologne 3-1 after they invaded the stadium with about 1 million fans, but we still beat them.
Best atmosphere I've seen at the Emirates in years.
We went away to Chelsea, a game where everybody gave us no chance, said we were going to get smashed to pieces. I thought we played very well on that day, and it was 0-0. Actually, could even have nicked it. So that was a positive.
On the balance of play, when you look at it, I've watched it back, and it's kind of. Yeah, I kind of look at that game.
Yeah, and give him some credit for that.
What I mean is,
that was a good away performance. Difficult place to go.
You can kind of say a point's a fair reflection on the game. Chelsea had a couple of chances. We had a couple, and
but it was a good point.
I think we had the better of the first half, and Chelsea had the better of the.
It's a good point in that. It was a good point in that it was one of the few away games I've seen Arsenal go to, and they had a good shape about them, and they were disciplined, and they all. I mean, I like the performance.
But you know, I like their effort. The only thing that performance did. Got people hyped that we were changing. Okay.
Right. Next game, Carabao Cup, which we played Doncaster, beat them 1-0.
It was awful that day.
Terrible performance, but we got the job done. Lots of kids playing, which has been one of the good things in the Carabao Cup and the Europa League, even though we don't want to be in the Europa League. But it's given a chance for Jack Wilshere to get fit, and it's given a chance for a lot of youngsters like Reece Nelson and people like that to start.
Maitland-Niles.
To start.
They're the three main ones.
We then played West Brom at home, beat them by 2-0.
Very lucky.
Tough game, as West Brom always give to teams. Very hard to break down, but we did. Won it by 2-0. Went away from home, beat Bate Borisov. By 4-2, decent performance.
That was a good performance.
That was a good performance.
Although some hairy mommoments.
Yeah, not an easy place to go to.
I know about that. Not an easy place to go to, is it?
Yeah, because it took you about 3 days to get there.
Yeah, not an easy place to go to. Cheers, Robbie.
Brighton at home beat them by 2-0. Again, they gave us a lot more problems than I thought they would, but we got the job done, beat them 2-0. Then went away to Watford, was 1-0 up. End up losing the game by 2-1. The penalty decision, probably the slightest of contact. Should we have just, when we spoke to Granit Xhaka, he said, boy, what we should have done was held on for the 1-1 and just took it, but they didn't. They lost the game. I think
the tactics in that game was wrong as well, because what happened was, if you can remember, I know that we had to stop Wilshere coming on for...
because Koscielny came off it,
But it was before that, if you remember, because he took off Lacazette, and then we'd lost all our pace and the counter-attack.
Took off Lacazette.
There's a reoccurring thing, because he seems to come off after the 70th minute. But what happened is that we basically invited pressure onto us, because we had no outlet anymore, no one to pass the ball to, no one to hold it up.
It was the game known for the cojones thing.
Cojones, from Troy Deeney. Yeah.
Us lacking kahunas.
And he was right in what he said. I don't care what anyone says. I've spoken to him since then, and at the end of the day, he said to me he wasn't disrespecting Arsenal. He's got the most respect for Arsenal. He was just giving an honest assessment as a player as to what he feels it's like when they come up against them. And it's, a lot of players in that situation, they would have turned around and would have been like, it's going to be difficult, and they're not really telling the truth, let's be honest. And whether you think it's professional or not, he was telling the truth. He wasn't lying. He was just giving his honest assessment of what he feels it's like when he comes up against Arsenal. And if you remember last year, he said that before they went into the game at the Emirates, Arsene Wenger was doing a press conference, and he started talking about the game after Watford. Watford was dismissive, don't worry about them, kind of. And it fired Watford up for the game. So you must remember as well that certain things have been said that, have fired Watford up. So, and he was fired up for it when he come on.
I think there was a reaction to that, because they did show kahunas in their next couple of games. They went away to Red Star Belgrade, which is a very hostile place. We were both there. The atmosphere is incredible, really hostile, old school game, and they got that 1-0. Didn't play great.
We did play great, but we got the result.
Got the result.
And I think that's one of our best results of the season when you think of the team that was out there.
Yeah,
kids,
1-0.
17, 18-year-old boys walking into that hostile atmosphere.
Yeah, and then probably our best result was actually winning away from home against Everton. We put 5 past them, 5 goals to 2. Coming from a goal down, played really well, showed a lot of character, showed a lot of skill. Really good, the best performance so far this season. Even though, Everton were poor, it led to Koeman getting sacked.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the sort of performance that we were like, yes, we've not seen this away from home for so long, and that we were encouraged by that.
We were encouraged, but I wasn't going to get ahead of myself.
Well, I remember you saying after the game, yeah, Robbie, but upcoming, we got City and Tottenham. After that, then I'll give you my assessment. But, it was a good performance. Beat Norwich at home, 2-1. That was the Eddie show.
Yeah,
again, we were very lucky in that game. We didn't play well, but we got the victory. Again, Swansea, beat them at home. We've been strong at home. Beat Swansea 2-1, coming from a goal down
also
again.
Think we've been scraping through at home.
Yeah, but we came from a goal down.
Yeah,
got the job done. Drew 0-0 with Red Star Belgrade.
That was
and then
awful.
Terrible game. Terrible game. But we've been unbeaten at home. Then away from home now at the weekend, of course, Manchester City beaten 3-1. Do you know what? When you think about it, to be expected. They're a better team than us. They're a good team. It could have been more. And then on the other hand, it could have been better because, the third goal I felt for City was, and we've seen subsequently, there was 2 players offside. It was a horrific decision by the linesman. At that time, it was 2-1. We were on the ascendancy. Could have been a different game. A City guy messaged me, a City fan messaged me yesterday, sent me an email and said, you know what, Robbie, why are your fans getting so upset? Because he goes, at the end of the day, I honestly think that Arsenal put in the best performance I've seen of any away team that's come to the Etihad this season. He goes, if that third goal hadn't have gone for us, it might not have ended up 3-1. But those are the margins. I think, again, there's things that happened in that game that makes the fans angry. And the main one is the Lacazette thing. Why is Lacazette being left out of these big games? Left out of Liverpool, left out of this Manchester City game. I remember, as I said, you came up to me before the game. I thought you was coming to fight me or something. You were so angry. You was ranting, you was raving. I couldn't even understand what was coming out of this guy's mouth. There's a lot of expletives and that, followed by Lacazette all the time. Then expletive, Lacazette. I go, yo, calm down, what's up? He's left him out, Robbie, again. I couldn't understand it.
You know what it is, right? Because I'll tell you what it is, right? Arsene Wenger's got this big thing about flattening like the supporters, momentum and stuff. Because I remember when we were playing Liverpool, for example, right? If you remember, Alexis hadn't got into the team so far. He was just coming back from pre-season and everything else. And on the way there was rumours that he was starting, and we were like, oh yeah, here we go, Alexis starting, Lacazette, yes. And all of a sudden you had
they started against Everton, didn't they?
No, but that's what I'm saying. You had this buzz about you. You started thinking, here we go, right, let's get the season going. And then you arrive up in Liverpool and you hear Alexis is playing, but Lacazette's on the bench. And you've gone from here to there. You go into Manchester at the weekend. Said to you, heart says one thing, head says another. But you're on the way there thinking, can we do this today? I'm looking forward to seeing them 3 up front again, though, because I think they'll cause Man City problems. And then you build yourself up on the way there. You know what it's like, and you're on the way and you're like, I'm ready for this now. I'm ready for this now. And it's like, all right, here we go. And you arrive in Manchester and you're like, yes, Alexis is there and Ozil's there. But where's Lacazette? And you go from here to there. Every single time. Every single time.
And then, let me just throw into the mix the AGM. We got to talk about that. So, first of all, the board, as far as I'm concerned, they've messed up on transfers. As we see, they didn't really bring no one in apart from Lacazette and Kolasinac. They didn't really make no moves after that to excite the fans. We lost Ox and all that, and still got all those players where their contracts have not been sorted out and that. And then we're told at the board that according to their metrics at the AGM, we're overachieving in the Europa League now. We moved to the stadium to become the Bayern Munich of England, and now we're overachieving in the Europa League and out of the top 4. The owner of the club is asked about his vision. What is your vision going forward? Quite legitimate questions that shareholders are asking. Can you tell us what your vision is going forward? Now remember, this is a board meeting with your shareholders. So let's just say it was Apple, you know, and you know the shareholders are saying to the guy who runs Apple, what's your vision going forward? Imagine if I forgot his name now. The guy who runs Apple. What's his name again?
Tim Cook.
Tim Cook. Imagine if Tim Cook then says, well, actually, go and read the Telegraph and you can see what my vision is, and then sits down and says nothing. I mean, I've just never seen anything like it. And
well, you've got to remember, Kroenke never said a word. That was Chips
Sir Chips Keswick. The actual.
So you imagine
the actual person who owns the club does not say anything.
Not a thing.
The other guys are saying that, you know, as far as they're concerned, to do with the metrics that they've been given, they're overachieving and they're all getting bonuses and stuff like that. I mean,
what did I tell you about that metric?
It's just.
What did I tell you about the metrics?
It's beyond belief.
Ivan can shove them metrics right up.
All right. It's just a mess at the moment. So, overall, what would you give Arsenal's performances? I don't want to say overall as a football club so far.
What you want? Marks out of 10 on the pitch and then off the pitch. Or do you want it as 1?
On the pitch and off the pitch. So
on the pitch, 3 out of 10.
3?
Yep. Because I think that even the home games we've scraped through, West Brom.
Unbeaten at home, though. We have to say, whether you scraped through or not.
But it's not, it's not been good.
You know, I remember
they're getting 3 out of 10.
Remember United last season, they were scraping every game at home, but they were unbeaten at home. And that still sets you up to get results if you're being unbeaten at home.
Sets us up for shit when our away form is so poor.
Yeah.
3 out of 10.
The away form, only 1 victory in the Premier League away from home.
3 out of 10.
Harsh. I'd say probably 4.
You got a lot about like 3 is harsh and then you go 4.
I'm not going to give, because I can't give 5 because I don't even think. I think the away form's been shocking.
Right, so
to only have.
Right, so there we go. So 3 for me, 4 for you, and then we'll ask the viewers what they think of their performances.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments.
And then we go to the owners.
The owners of the club.
0.
I agree with you.
Totally.
I agree with you. I'm on you on that one. 0.
Can we get the manager rating?
The manager rating.
I'll let you go first.
I'm going to give him a 4 as well because, all right, positives, and I'm going to give you the negatives. So, the positives is that the home form, even though yes, you're right, it ain't been vintage at home, but we're unbeaten at home. I like the fact that he's qualified for the next round of the Europa League very easily by just using youngsters and kids, giving them a chance, in this day and age where young players never seem to get a chance, he's given them a chance. And we're still in the Carabao Cup with youngsters again, and we've got a chance of getting to the semi-final. So that's the positives. The negatives for me is the away form has been horrific, and also I still don't get this Lacazette thing, why he keeps leaving out Lacazette, and the lack of the fact that none of these contracts have been sorted. I know that's not just down to him, but it's almost like he's appeasing certain players. Whereas we've seen, like with the Ox, for example, the man them shouldn't play. If you don't want to play for Arsenal, don't play. So 4.
2.
That's lower than the board.
2.
You're giving Wenger lower than the board. Come on, man.
I gave the board 0.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. You give the team 3. Yeah, 2.
So I'm giving Arsene Wenger 2.
And
1 point for getting us to the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. 1 point for getting us out of the group stage of the Europa League. That's it. That's the only positive.
Home form.
No.
You should give him another point for that at least.
He's getting 2. That's it. 2. Negatives are constantly playing players out of position. El Neni, Coquelin, Maitland-Niles, Hector Bellerin, Reece Nelson. I could go on. I've nearly picked a team that he's played out of position. How many times does he do it? The away form. The non-starting of Lacazette.
In the league, we're 6th at the moment.
Joint with Burnley.
Joint with Burnley. Also joint with Liverpool.
Hey!
Right.
That makes me so much better.
We're 3 points off the top 4. We got Tottenham next.
But
Tottenham are 4 points above us.
Can I just say one thing? How many points are we off the title?
Listen, the title's done from the other day.
Exactly.
Right, we're 12 points off the title. Bar an absolute miracle, we'd have to go on the most amazing run, and City would have to drop points. Listen, it's not impossible.
Maybe if we sacked Wenger now and then brought someone else in next week, we might be able to do it.
Well, here's the thing: could it be worse? With the board, have you seen the board and how they're in action? There's some Chips and Kroenke and Gazeta and the lack of investment.
We've had
the lack of what's been going on.
We've had this discussion already.
It could be worse, DT.
It could be, but we've had this discussion already.
But it could be, couldn't it?
It could be, right? Anything could be worse. You know, at the end of the day, you could decide to split up with your wife, and at that time you think it's the best decision, but your life could be worse. You don't know. It's like all aspects of life. You never know. But at the end of the day, I feel that we've got a group of players there that have something in them, but I don't feel we've got the manager that can get it out of them.
Now, the next game against Tottenham, if we was to win that game against Tottenham, we go 22 points. We'd be a point behind Tottenham and Man United. Well, I don't know who Man United have got next. So Man United, they're 4 points above us as well. So they're not miles ahead of us at the moment, right? So there's still a chance, really, for us to have, maybe not win the league, but there's still a chance for us to have a good season. Because if you look at the season, City are running away from it. But still, Arsenal can still have a half-decent season if they start to put some proper results together.
If you do not win the league, it's a poor season. It's poor.
Well, yeah, can you say that with a team like Man City there?
Well, yeah, because at the end of the day, we're Arsenal.
No, but you can put. What I'm trying to say is you can't always win the league.
No, I know you can't. But put a challenge in.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
But I don't think we're going to even get. We're 12 points behind already. We're not going to challenge.
No, but that's what I'm saying now. If I'm sitting down and I'm doing my half or quarterly report or whatever the report is with the team,
you're overperforming.
Right? Yeah, well, that's what they're getting told now by the looks of it. So maybe that's why they don't perform any better. I'd be saying what we'd be saying, which is you are underachieving
and you're shit,
and you need now to put it in, right? And it starts with Tottenham. Show the fans of Arsenal Football Club that you do have a lot of pride in, you do care about them, you do care about this game, and go out there and put in a performance at home against Tottenham. And don't get me wrong, Tottenham have been playing well. I think they've only lost one game away from home this season, and that was at United. So they've got a good away form, one of the best. We've got a good home form. So we need to put in a performance against. So we haven't beaten Tottenham now for several seasons.
A long time.
Yeah, and Tottenham fans are coming into that game confident that they're going to win that game. The expectation from all of the experts and pundits are that Tottenham will win or minimum draw that game. Nobody's expecting them to lose that game.
It never used to be
Arsenal
like this.
Can give themselves a lot of, spirit going into the sort of December, Christmas period by beating Tottenham.
It never used to be like this, man.
Massive game.
It never used to be like this. It's embarrassing. It never used to be like this.
It never used to be like this. This is what it is. It is now.
We went into every North London derby and we knew we were going to win.
Yeah, that was then.
But now it's embarrassing. If any player cannot get themselves up for this game, then I will personally kick them the fuck out of the door. I don't care who you are.
Is there a power shift? Has his power shifted?
No, not yet, because they've got to win things. Okay. They're the better side than us right now.
They are the better side.
And it's painful to say it. But power shift in terms of the biggest club and all this and that, you've got to start winning things. Finish above us for 20 years. Go win league titles. I'm not even telling you to go invincible. Just go and win a league title.
Even win an FA Cup or something like that. Yeah. They ain't won nothing.
You ain't won an FA Cup in over 20 years. You ain't won a league title in 1961. It's been over 10 years since you won the League Cup. When we went 9-10 years without a trophy, it was a major crisis. It was all over the world. World news. Everyone spoke about it. No one talks about Tottenham not winning the league.
I mean, a guy said to me yesterday, he said, do you realise it? And listen, I know it's not our aim, I think, and I think this would stand out well if we'd have won the league also in the time. But the guy said to me, he goes, "You realise you've won the league? You won the league. You've won the FA Cup 3 out of the last 4 times, which is absolutely an amazing achievement. But it would look good, that achievement,
if there was a title in there.
If there were in between there was some sort of title. And that's been the problem. Because there's been no title in there, the FA Cup just looks all the time like a little consolation. And that's what... But it's actually an amazing achievement to have done it 3 out of the last 4 years, but it looks like a consolation because we're not challenging in the league.
All it's done, Robbie, and I've said this 100 times, is paper the cracks. That's all it did.
It's been like a consolation prize.
You remember even the year we didn't win it out of that 4, right? We went into the final game of the season, and Aston Villa won it. Or did we win the cup that year? I can't even remember now. I don't think we did, actually. But we played Aston Villa. Tottenham capitulated at Newcastle.
As usual.
And we got the result done against Villa, and there was that air around the Emirates and everyone's singing and happy because we finished above them. What that did...
I enjoyed that.
It was nice. But what that did was paper over everything that had gone wrong that season.
Yeah.
Then we go into the next year and it's like a cycle. And then last year, we had that horrible run and we lost to Palace and we were doing all this shit and it was just a mess. But then the FA Cup, for as nice as it was for that day, when you settled down during the week and you gathered your thoughts, it just covered over everything that had gone wrong. And all it did was give the board and Wenger and everyone else that little bit of leeway, that little bit of time. And Wenger got his new contract. Conveniently, they waited till the season had finished so nobody can protest or moan. Then they go and give him one. And we sat there and we've had these discussions like this before the season even started, and we said, go out there and prove us wrong then. You've got the 2 years. All right, I'll let you go out there and do your job. Go and buy the players we need. Don't go out there half-heartedly in the transfer window. Don't leave us short. Don't do all these things you've done over the last few years. What did he do? Done the exact same thing he's done over the last few years. So before the game starts on game 1, fans are already in that. The moment we lose a game, it turns. And you can see it. Liverpool, it's understandable. Every player deserved to get abused that day. The manager deserved, the owners, everyone deserved to get every bit of criticism that they got. Then you go to, for example, the game against Watford. 15 minutes to go, 1-0 up, people got smiles on their faces. 15 minutes later, we've lost the game and everyone's singing Wenger out. That is how close you are to tipping over the edge and being on either side. And that is because the club have created this problem.
The owners of the club and the board members and that seriously need to look at themselves and say to themselves that between now and I don't know if they're doing this, I don't know if they care, but they've got a serious job to do in trying to repair their relationship with the fans.
I don't think they can.
Maybe they can't, but at the moment it's at an all-time low after that AGM.
Yeah.
Fans, whether they want to believe it or not, the fans at the moment, it's like almost amongst a lot of fans that I speak to and the chants that I hear at games and that is all a hatred.
It's pure hatred.
And that's not good. You know what I mean? And that's not good. I don't want to see that at our club, that there's a hatred. But at the moment, there is such a divide between the fans and the people running this club, and something.
And Wenger.
Do you know what? I actually think he's almost like the buffer in the middle. So even at the AGM, remember, when we was chatting to FK, he said that the only person who got any respect from the people in the room that day was Arsene Wenger.
But then on the flip side of that,
and even at games, even though he gets stick when we lose and that, I don't think there's the hatred.
No, there ain't the hatred, but they want him out. But they want.
There's sections of the fans that still want him out. There's other fans that are still.
But the pure hatred is Ivan Gazidis.
But the hatred for the people above him, it is there and it's real, and they need to do something. Don't use Arsene Wenger as a buffer. They need to do something to resolve this between now and the end of the season, because it's there.
I don't think they can.
I will just ask you finally, because time's nearly up. What?
I've got to go back to association.
What from now till the end of the season, and I want you to be realistic.
Yeah.
What for you could end up being a good season for Arsenal?
Win the league.
I told you to be realistic.
I'm being serious. That's what's a good season.
Realistic.
That's what that for me.
We're not going to win the league, DT.
Yeah, I know. So it's not a good season then.
Okay. What if Arsenal If Arsenal won the FA Cup,
Oh, again!
Hold on.
Yay!
FA Cup, and the Europa League.
You're just getting him out of jail again. Arsenal,
Would that be a good
I
season?
swear Arsenal's
In the
the
grand-
luckiest manager ever.
All right, if FA Cup and Europa League, I think that would be a good season from where we're standing now. If Arsenal finish in the top 4 and won the Europa League, I think that would be a good season
Do you
right
not think
now.
it just papers the
Right,
cracks?
it does, but right, if Arsenal won the Carabao Cup and Europa League, that'd probably be a good season. We've got no chance of winning
What
the
if we
league.
just win the
The
Carabao
league's
Cup?
over. If we just win the Carabao Cup, it's a bad season. It's a poor season.
Community Shield's in there though.
The community shit.
Won the double.
Double. That's a Wenger, won the double. Listen, always a pleasure to have
Yeah,
you, man. We'll be back next week, of course. I think what we'll be doing next week, pretty obvious, is we'll be talking a lot about the North London derby. It's the North London derby next week. It's a massive game. It's a must-win game for Arsenal, and we'll be looking forward to that on next week's All Guns Blazing podcast. Thank you, DT. Don't forget, all formats is on. You can download his podcast on iTunes. All the links are in the description. Thanks for the massive support we get for this program. Don't forget to like the video, and don't forget to subscribe here to Arsenal Fan TV.